Welcome back, everyone. Um, it's Alex yet again. 2 live streams in a day. Wow, I'm making up for lost time, y'all. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. Um, you can also subscribe to my other channel, my cooking channel. I'm going to be putting a video out there in a couple of days of me making some food. And then also like, share, go check out the Code Black place over there on Facebook, over that page, and like it. We have a community as well. So what I am going to do right now, let me turn the music down just a smidge here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually take my, why is my, I tell you, my computer's acting really swanky here today. I'm gonna go ahead and get my project that I was working on and get it over into my Git repository, GitHub repository, I should say. And so this will be a very brief video. This is kind of a continuation of what I was doing earlier. We're not going to, we may mess around with the Excel spreadsheet stuff here. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get, just checking out my stream quality here. It says poor for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there. They're doing some work in our neighborhood, so that might be it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to our picture-in-picture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a repository, Git repository with these changes, and I'm going to check those changes into my GitHub account. And then I'm going to create a pull request for those changes over here. And you see right now, there's no branches over here. So we're going to create a new branch. So I'm already over here. Let me actually go into my Visual Studio and make sure I've got all of my changes where I want them for now, because we'll continue the development work on the Excel spreadsheet a little later. Okay, so, and I just updated my Visual Studio, so I'm not sure why my stream health is acting really crazy. It's just really weird that it's doing that. Okay, stream health. I don't know why it says poor, because I can see the stream just fine. Okay, so here we are. When we last left off, what we needed to do, what we were doing was we had just added this logic down here for our Excel spreadsheet, and we have our Excel spreadsheet right here. All right, so now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and, wow, what's going on? Yeah, it's just really weird. It's doing that. Let's go ahead and get our code put into our repo. So I'm gonna switch over to my Git Bash, and I'm going to create a brand new repo. So I'm gonna use the git command git checkout -b to create a new branch, and this is going to be called add Excel, or do it like this: hello world, add Excel logic. Hit enter. So now I'm in a new branch. Then I can go over to Git and say git status and see all of the pieces that I don't have that I've made changes to. So all of this code here I've made changes to, and I'm going to get them checked into my Git repo. So let me, and you can see over here in the bottom of my, well, you can't see that because that's in the way. But let me move myself out of the way a little bit there, and I can show you. So down here, I have switched my branch into I've switched into this new branch here. I'm no longer in my master branch, and now I'm in a working branch. Earlier, what I had done was I pulled down all of my changes from my other branch, and that was in the previous video, right? So we're going to do this logic here. Well, not so much logic. We're going to do this git command to then take this work that we've done and commit that work to our remote repository. Now, there's multiple ways you can do this. I am trying to practice on using the git command line here. I use, in my daily life, I use the interface inside of Visual Studio because it's fairly intuitive. And so to do that, what you can do, and let me come over here. There's usually and I don't know if this is an enterprise thing or not, but let's see if I can, there we go, get changes. There we go. So there's this little interface here, or dialogue, that shows you all of the changes that you've made in code. And you can type your message in here and commit all your and stage your changes and do all that kind of stuff there. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to do that over here because I need to practice this. Okay, so what I need to do is I'm going to use the command git add period, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stage all of these files here. So hit enter. And so now when I do another git status, it shows that all of these are staged. So if I go back over to my Visual Studio, you can see that this changed to staged changes. Okay. And actually, let me do it this way so you can see what's going on here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit my changes to my local repository. That's the one here on my computer. Okay, so let's do a commit message, git commit -m, and we're gonna say implemented, what's the name of that thing here? The Office Open Excel Office Open XML class, namespace, XML, namespace. Hit enter. And so what that did was it went ahead and committed my changes. So now I have no changes over here because now my stuff's committed to my local repository now. Okay. The next thing I need to do, so if I come over here and I click one outgoing over here, you maximize this, and there's the commit message that I just made. And if I right click on this and I say view commit details, down here you'll see all of the stuff that I've made changes to. And we can also, pull this up a little bit. What we can also do, I don't like it being in there though. Pop that out of there. There we go. And this should actually be in another, that's kind of weird that's showing up that way. And what this is this is a diff. It's a diff that will look at the changes that you've made compared to the changes that are out in your last commit message or in your last commit in your repository. Okay. So it's basically the one over here on the left is a snapshot, then the one on the right. The one on the right is the stuff that I've done. So I can see exactly what I changed here. Then I can double check my code to make sure everything matches up. And I can double check every piece of my code. Just double click on this and it will show exactly what I've changed. Now that opens up the actual file. Let me go back to this and view commit details. And then I can do the same thing here. There's a launch settings that was added. There's this app settings. The M means modified, the A means added, D would mean delete. So if I come over here, I can see what I added here. Oh, I don't have a scroll bar down there. It's kind of weird. I can do the same thing here. Oh, there's my scroll bar. I can see that I added this Excel package and all that kind of stuff. I can come to my mock DAO, see that I added some logic to this as well in my test, and so on and so forth. So now I'm ready to roll my changes up to my my remote working repository. So let's go back over here and we'll say git push, hit enter, and then it tells you there's no upstream. So we're just gonna take this message and add that. So git push, set upstream origin. Hit that, and what that will do is it should push all of my changes up into GitHub, and it created a new branch right here called hello world / add Excel logic. And so now if I go back over to my GitHub, we can see that I pushed my change up. And if I click down here, if I refresh this, I should have 2 branches out here now. And there's my second branch. So the hello world logic, if I click in the hello world logic, right now I'm only looking at the master branch. And I can see that I've got stuff in there, right? If I come over here, I go to models, I didn't change models. If I go to dummy class and click that, I can see that this is the logic that I had in there. Now there's none of that Excel logic is in there. None of that Excel logic is in there. But if I click down here and I click hello world add Excel logic, I can see there's my new changes in there. So the whole point of branching, creating a branch and branching and pushing your changes up to a working remote branch is so that you can track the changes to see what's changed before you put your code in there, so you don't overwrite something accidentally. So let's go out and create a pull request. Now, what a pull request is a way for another developer to check to make sure that you didn't blow something up, or the code that you're going to implement is going to blow something up. Usually you don't create a pull request and check your own code. You don't compare your own code. But I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So what I can do is I can say compare and pull request. And what GitHub does is it does an automatic check for me to make sure that I don't have any conflicts in my code. So you would get a conflict when, let's say, the piece of code that you're working on now has other changes that you don't have. And if you check in your changes that your change is going to overwrite somebody else's code, that will create a conflict. And so to get a conflict resolved, what you do is you have to check the logic of what you're overwriting and merge the changes in together. There's multiple ways to do that. There's merging, there's rebasing, and so on and so forth. So in this instance, however, that's not the case. And so I can see exactly what I did here in my commit message, and I can put messages in my pull request and say exactly what I did. So I can go back here and, well, I can go back here and look at my local history, right click and say view commit details, and I can get a little bit more detailed with what I want, right? So I can come over here and I can say made the following, or implemented the following changes. And I can say, well, number one, I made a change to the DAO, initialize, where'd it go? Right there. Made a change to this initialize DAO signature. Okay. Another thing that I did was I changed the connection string, or I added a dictionary for connection strings that we will need to implement as well. I added some try catch. To the set constring method. Okay. So you can get as detailed as you need to here, and you want to put the things that you made changes to. Added in, the important stuff. Added a new config string. Added a new connection string to app settings JSON. I mean, all of this is going to be there, but it's good to point out the changes. And then I updated the test class, the test project. Okay. And those are the changes in a nutshell that I made. So I can create this pull request. And so now I've got a pull request out there that if another dev, or if I was in a team of devs, could grab this pull request and could check my changes out. Okay, so let's just act like we're a different dev now. Okay, so I'm a different dev. I can come over here and I can click this and I can say add the, assign this to myself, and so on and so forth, and kind of go from there. Now again, and I'm not even sure if GitHub will let me do this. I'm not sure if I can even check in or comment on my own stuff, but so I can come over here in the commits and I can do click this and I can look at the pull request and I can see what's changed over here. Now you can do a lot of this over here in GitHub, but again, and so you can see this here. If I open up this pull request, then I can either view it over here or I can look at it myself. So let me close this. I'm going to close all windows here, close all tabs. And let's say I want to look at this. I can say left click that and say view changes. And I can see all of the changes that I made. So let's say I'm a dev, a different dev, or I'm a senior dev, or I'm, QA person or whatever. And I'm looking to make sure that everything matches up and everything looks good. So I'm looking in here, saying, okay, yep, I can see the change you made. I can question, like, why did you make this change here? What were you thinking? Not in a negative way, but let me know, why did you make this change here? Kind of a thing, right? So I can go through all of this and look at it. And then what I can do is I can take this pull request and I can approve it and merge it. So, and I'm not sure how to do that over here because I don't use GitHub too often as far as that's concerned. But over here, I can say review changes. And if there's any kind of a question, I can make a comment. I can approve it. Now, I can't approve my own pull request. Somebody else would have to do this for me, okay? And that's to protect, to say, you don't have you can't check in your own code. So again, I'm a different dev at this time. So let's say everything looks good. I don't have to make any kind of a comment or anything like that. So I can go down. I can say, oh, okay, yep, no problem. I can come back to the pull request. Click on here. And then what I can do is now I can merge this pull request up into the master repository. Okay, and now what you're going to do at that time is you're going to overwrite or you're going to merge the changes from the working branch or the code that I've done today into the main master branch of code. So what will happen is the new bare bones basic version of the code is going to be what I'm about to check in. So I'm going to overwrite what's out there now with what I'm about to check in. Now, the beauty of that is when you do that, you can check to see what those changes were. So let's say I had to roll a change back. You can always go to a previous version of that master branch repository or that master branch, and you can download that and re-implement it if you need to. Okay. I don't think let's do it that way. Okay. I don't know if the music was playing or not. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let me turn it just a smidge, right? Let's see right there. Okay. I think that should be okay. All right, now I'm going to merge my pull request. And say confirm merge. And what this does, once it's merged, I can now delete the old working branch out there. Once the change is merged, there's really no, to me, there's really no need to have it out there. So you just delete that branch over there. And then what you'll need to do, because you can always revert back to previous versions again. So it's not like your code is, once it's gone, it's gone. So now over here, if I refresh this, it says merged over here. And then I can come back over here and this is merged. And now that pull request is pretty much done. And I can come over here and I can see all the closed pull requests that I've worked on. So you can see all of these pull requests that I've done over here, right? Okay. Now, the one thing that you have to do now, there's a couple of things that you want to do. First thing that you want to do is you want to, over here, you can delete this branch over on your computer. But before you do that, this is very important. What you want to do is go back to your master branch. So reopen that master branch up. And then you want to do a pull on that branch. I guess I probably should have did it over. Let me do it over here. Let me do it on my command line. Okay. Clear this out. Now, up here you see that I'm on my working branch still, and that's local. I don't have a working branch, a remote branch called hello world / add Excel logic anymore because I deleted it when I merged it into my master. So now what I can do is I can git checkout master, and it tells me that my branch is behind origin master by 2 commits. Okay, so what I can do is I can do a git pull, and what that's going to do, it's going to pull in the changes that I just checked in from my working branch. And now my working branch, my master branch here locally is the same as my master branch remotely. They're all one and the same. Okay. Now I can come over here and I can delete and I can delete hello world / add Excel logic. And now that branch is no mas. It's gone. If I come over here into my Visual Studio, it's not there anymore. It's gone. Gone bye-bye. Okay? Now, what I could probably delete those other 2 branches. The other 2 branches at file mover / new file mover. Well, that's actually no, I won't do that right now. So now that I've merged my branch and that pull request is no more, well, I guess I can close this pull request now. I'm not sure how to do that over here. So let me go back over here and go to pull requests. Refresh this. Yep, there it is. Okay. So when you commit a pull request and you merge that branch, apparently, and then you delete the branch, apparently GitHub goes ahead and it closes your pull request for you. All right. So now the next thing you want to do, since you've merged your branch, is you can create another working branch. So let's create another working branch. Let's say git branch -b world add edit Excel logic. Oh, git checkout, Alex. All right. Now, let me tell you about let me explain the kind of the sequence here. Okay, so the sequence is very important. Had I not done a git pull right here and updated my master branch, if I had created a local branch without getting the changes that were committed to master, then my working branch and the master branch would be out of sync with one another at that point. So what would happen is if I made changes in my working branch, committed those changes, pushed those changes up, and then tried to make a pull request, and then somebody else comes around with master and makes other changes and commits those changes, somebody's going to have branches out of sequence. And then that's where merging a branch comes into play. Okay. So that's why it's important that when you're on the master branch, make it a habit to do a fresh pull as soon as you get in to that branch. What a lot of people do, I do it once a day at the beginning of the day, because I work in a team of developers and engineers that are constantly adding code into our main branch of code. And so before I start developing for the day, what I do is I pull down the latest changes to my master branch. So that way, if somebody else is working on a piece of code at the same time as me, or in the same part of the code as me, that I'm not going to cause myself a conflict, a branch conflict, or merge conflict, I should say. And B, there's no chance of me overwriting code. We should be able to, if we get a conflict, is then merge those changes in to, or put those changes together, and then check in our branches or branch at, to have all of the code that should be in there. Okay. This is where collaboration is very important. Okay. So now I have another working branch over here called Hello World, and it's called Edit Excel Logic. And if I go over to my Visual Studio, you'll see that it's already checked me out right there. Now let's do this. Let's do this. Let me go back over to master, git checkout master, and I'm going to delete that branch I just created. Git branch Hello World Edit Excel Logic. All right, now let's check out these two branches, file mover / new file mover. Let's see, git checkout file mover / what did I call it? New file mover? New file mover. All right, git status. And there's nothing in there. So it's just an empty branch, and I can get rid of it. So I can say git checkout master, and I can say git, actually let me do it this way. Git, so checkout, git branch D. All right, so I no longer have that branch. And say reload. file mover / initial branch. And that one's empty too. Okay, so let's do a git checkout again. And we'll do another git delete. D. Yep. Reload this. And now git status. Everything's fine and ready to go. And now, if I go over here, I should be able to come over here and still see all of my logic in here that I've got. It even still has the breakpoint up there. And I'm ready to go. Now, I will do my git checkout be hello world edit Excel logic. All right, there we go. So now I have a clean working branch, and I've cleaned up old branches. Now you can also do that over here as well, but again, I'm trying to practice my command line stuff here. Now clear that out. Nothing's there. So let me put that away. And when we last left off with the actual logic, what we were doing there is we have this Excel spreadsheet that we created. And what we said we were going to do was we were going to take our logic up here and basically put it into an Excel spreadsheet. So the way we have to step this through is we have to create a line that has all of our titles up here, our header titles up here. And then what we'll need to do is for each cell is we're going to have to then insert the data into each cell corresponding and then go from there. So let's kind of look at the logic that we have down here. So we know that we created a sheet called sheet 1. And then what we also have is we have the name of our workbook, so on and so forth. And then we also have our cells, and I believe this is going to be row 1, column 1. So row 1 or column 1, row 1, I think. So let's just test that logic out here. We'll go back to this logic here. And then it says you can make that directly in the constructor. So then what we can do let's see what happens. Let me close this. Now you have to close it if you're going to edit it. Now, okay, so this logic here says that in WS sales 2-1, this is cell A2. So the first number, let's go back to our Excel spreadsheet here and open this up. So the first number that we're looking at here must be the column, and then the second number will be the row that the cell is residing in. So actually, no, I have that backwards. So this says right here that this is cell A2 if you do 2, 1. So 2, 1, this is row and then column. Okay. So what we need to do for A1, B1, C1, D1 is put these up there. Okay. So we can do that in a couple of different ways here. So the first way we can do it is we can do a split on this cell or this line right here, and then loop through all of the we can do a split on the comma in here and then loop through that and then put those in each corresponding cell with the for loop. Okay, so to do that, let's come down here, let's copy this line here, we'll come down here and we'll say well, actually we can just make an array of a string array. And we'll do string header equals new string array, and make that a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, there we go. And then put that in there like so. All right, put this in here like so. Get rid of this and get rid of that one. There we go. And then I can also, actually, instead of it being a string, let's make it a hash list. Because I think that's a generic collection. Yeah. No, that's not right. Can I do... There we go. Hash, not hash list, hash set. There we go, of string. New hash set, like so. And then instead of doing it that way, I'm doing it this way. Somebody told me that hash sets are much easier or better to use. They take up less memory. Smart guy that guy is. And no, it's not me. It's the guy I work with, though. Alrighty. There we go. So we've got a hash set that we can loop through. And what we'll do, we'll need to have this here. And we can have logic in here that's going to check to see if this already exists. Let's see first though if this logic is going to go kaplooey. Let me move myself over to here, back where I was at over here. Bam. Okay. So we're rebuilding our solution here. We should fly through there and see what happens. Yeah, it's already there. Now I think I'm gonna get an error here. Yep, because it already exists. Let's see. And the exception is, let's see what the exception is. And it really doesn't accept pivot table chart type. Let's put a try catch down here. I'll throw an exception there. Move this down here. Paste that, Katie. Stack trace. And is this a void? It is. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's rerun this. Okay, let's see what. Yep, that's what I thought. A worksheet with this name already exists in a workbook. So there's got to be a way that we can check for the name of the sheet. So let's see if we can do that. Let's say package dot workbook dot worksheets var sheets equals. And what this is going to do, it's going to check to see if the worksheet already exists. So let's get rid of this breakpoint. How do I? It's going to bother me. Yeah, there's a way to check to see where your breakpoints are. Just can't remember how to. Oh, is that it? No, I just can't remember how to do it. Anyway, let's hit F5 and we will rerun this again. 10 F10. Now let's see, there should be a collection of worksheets in here. And so we've got sheet 1 is in there. And let's see worksheets. I wonder if there's a to list in there that I can do. There is. Okay. And when I do a to list on it, it gives me a list of worksheets. So I wonder if I can dot name sheets dot. This is another IEnumerable where I can grab the, I can do something like this, select X, this is linked, y'all, X dot sheet name. Is there a sheet name in here somewhere? Names. To list. I can do something like that because that is names that. I wonder if I can do it that way. I'm just trying to get the sheet's name. I'm not interested in all the other jazz that's in there. So let's see. 10. Let's see what I get back here. Yep, I didn't get anything back actually. I wonder if that'll work. I think what's going to happen there is it's going to give me the name of the sheets, and it's going to split it out into. Oh, it actually did what I wanted it to do there. Okay, so I wonder if I can do it this way though. Let's see. Open this up. I'm gonna put another sheet in there and see what happens. Sheet 2, save, close. Now let's do the same thing and see what we get back this time. Okay, we do get what I need back here. Okay. So I can say if sheets count is greater than 0. No, if it's equal to 0, then I want to add a sheet. Like this. And then put this in here, like so. Else, do this thing that I copied out of there once, and I'm going to edit the sheet. So this is adding a new sheet, and we can kind of get around that by creating a new spreadsheet each time we do this. So we can like put the timestamp in here. So what I can do is something like this, _0, and then come over here and do something like this. New file info equals string.format, and come over here and say date time now date to string, and give it a month, day, year. Y. And what that will do, do I have all of my stuff in there? I do. What's going on here? File info. Make sure I got this in here the right way. String.format to string. So, okay. Make sure I don't delete anything here. There we go. So what that does is I'm going to make sure I create a new spreadsheet each time. Okay, there we go. And then let's clean up this a little bit here. There. And actually, yeah. And so now, let's just hit, I don't need this logic in here anymore, because I'm going to create a new worksheet each time. Hit 5, and what will happen is I'll have a spreadsheet with now the date in there as well, and I better put the time in there too, because if not, there we go. And then there we go, there's my new workbook here, and there's my line there. I wonder if there is if in this, let's see, file info, yeah, I didn't think so. put the time in there too. Okay, I don't know if that's valid or not. So I don't think that's valid. I think I'm gonna get an error there. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, that time is off, but the time that now dot, take the toString off, the date off of there, toString. So there we go. That should work there. So basically what I've done is I've created a time-stamped file that will create with a time in there every single time. Why is it 05? Oh. Like that. I need to have one H actually. Underscore hours. That's military time. Let me make sure here. H. H like that. All right. Oop. Do another quick thingamajigger there. And while I'm doing that, let me check to see if the wife needs me here. Okay. Nope. Not yet. So now, if I hit F10, I'll just hit F5 and just create it. F5, create that there. There we go. That's better. I like that better. Let me delete these out of here. All right. So now what's going to happen is I shouldn't get oh, my wife just got here. So let me finish up what I'm doing here because I'm sure she's gonna want something here. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take, so we've got our title here, and then what I can do now is I can add those cells. I can add the title to those cells. So let's do it that way. So let's say, we know this is row 1 and this is row and column, right? We can do a for each. Var title in header. And say like this, push that in there. Instead of the value there, I can say title cell. I'll just say cell. And then put here, put cell. So what that'll do is it'll loop through my title here, and it'll just put all of the, you know, requisite stuff in there. So let's run this and see what happens. Oh, wait. We're missing something here. Let's stop our logic here. We need a counter. Because what that's going to do... Yeah, we need a counter. Okay, so and then we need a counter that's going to start on 1. So we have var x, or we're going to put column call header call equals 1. So that would be in a var. We'll make it an int. All right. And then we're just going to add 1 each time. So every time we loop through, we're going to add 1 to the column, and it will automatically increment for us. Let's move our breakpoint down here. Okay. So now that'll be 2. And so let's just go all the way through. And let's open up our Excel spreadsheet and see what it looks like here. There we go. So we've got the stuff that we need in there for our header line. Now let's go ahead and put the rest of the stuff in there. So it's going to be no different than what we were doing before with this, with our hash set. Let's just make our hash set look a little neater on the screen here. Something like this. There we go. Now what we can do, adding a new sheet. And let's actually move this up here. And then we can actually play with the name of that title of the sheet as well. And then we're going to add we've added the new sheet. Now we're going to add header row first. Put that down there. We're going to reset our header call to 1. Okay. And we need to have a column. Actually, we need to have a header call, or just call it call. Column, call int, something like that. Like that. And down here too. And then we're gonna make one for row int as well. This will come in handy in a moment. Okay. So we reset. Okay. Then we're going to come down, and we've got our items now. Now we're going to need to write our items to the cells here. So let's copy what we did here. And we need to go to row 2. Because we're going to skip down, so it's like a carriage return line feed. So now what we're going to do for each item in items, what we need to do is we have our call int and our row int. Okay. Now how are we going to do this? How do we want to do that? So what we need to do is we know we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. So the maximum column amount is going to be 8. We've got multiple rows. So what we want to do is we want to increment the row by 1, but we want to make sure that we're done writing the columns that we need for each item. So this might be a good opportunity to use a while loop and the counter. So what we can probably do is get the number of items that are in what we are passing into in our query model. We'll have a count there, and then we don't have to worry about that one there. So let's think this through for a second here. So what we want to do is we want to only increase the row number when we're done counting columns. So I can say if call int is greater than 8, then I want to reset or increment my row to 1, row int will be plus plus. Okay, this might do it here. So this will be item. Oh, I'm probably making this more, yeah, I'm making this out to be harder than I need to. This will be column 1, 2. I'm overthinking this here. Just got a text, I think. Nope. So let's copy these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so the first one we know is our invoice line ID. The second one we can move this logic down here. Oh, we don't need that logic to be bold there. Okay. Actually, let's see how it comes out here. I skipped one there too. Should be 2. Item dot media track ID. Item item is this album title, artist name, track name, media type, unit price, and quantity. Okay. cast them all to strings just to be, no, actually, no. Let's see what we get back when we do this here. Okay. So then I'll need the column int to increase by 1. I need the row int to increase by 1. There we go. That's better. What's going on there? There we go. So let's see what happens now. So we'll step through our logic again. F5. So it's going out, it's retrieving all of our stuff right now. 10. We're going to create our header rows or header columns. Reset our column. Set it to the second row. 6, 7, 8. Up by 1. And let's see how long it takes to go through this and we don't get any errors. Like really fast. F5. Now let's open up our workbook and see what it looks like. Nothing. Oh, wait, there we go. And there we go. Here is all of our logic, and it matches what we had coming back. Now you notice that the media track ID, it cuts off the leading 0. That's just a thing that Excel does. Yep. And then what we could probably do as well is play around with the types of the wife is here. Let's see, she says so. On my way up. Okay, so we've made our Excel spreadsheet and it looks good. It looks really nice. And so, yeah, we made a report from scratch basically. And we can play around with it. So what we could do is, let's say we have a service that goes out and it creates, it inserts records into that row. And then what happens is, we want to report a daily report. We could schedule this, we could create this Excel spreadsheet program, and then we could go out and set this executable, this program up to run at a specific time every day. So let's go ahead, and we've saved our work. I'm gonna go ahead and go back over to my Git. And you know what? I'm going to do it this way in Visual Studio so you can see both of them. So I'm going to come over here to my Git changes. I'm going to say added a finished first Excel method. Say commit. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say push. It pushes my branch up. And I can go create a pull request if I'm done. I'm not going to create a pull request right now because I'm going to push up other changes. So yeah, so as always, and like I said, we've created our spreadsheet. So as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and share this with anyone. And yeah, so that's where we're at. That's what we've done. We'll add more logic onto this. We have a few other queries that we're going to put into this program here. I was going to say module, this program here, and we'll continue another time. Until then, peace.